Hey guys, today we're showing you how to install a Tusk UTV quick release cargo system on your Polaris RZR XP4. Now, today we're installing the large bed mounted box. Let's go ahead and get started. To start out, we need to install both of our roll cage clamps to the roll cage just behind the rear headrests. Now, if you have any accessories in the way, you're going to want to make sure you get those removed or loosened up so you can work around them. So for our setup, we're going to start with the back half of the clamp. We'll set the front in place, and then we're going to thread those screws in a few turns. And then through the back, I've got a ball Allen, and I'm gonna get those to where they're almost tight, but I can still move the clamp. We'll rotate that where we need it, and then we'll get the top screws almost tightened down, and that way we can still make adjustments with this, and then we'll do the same steps with the other clamp. Then we're gonna measure out 13.5 inches center to center on these bolt holes on the clamps, and that's where you want them. Now we can attach the cargo rack to the roll cage clamps. We're going to use the N10 flange bolts on the bottom and the M6 flange bolts on top with the corresponding nuts. And we're using 10 and 15 millimeter deep sockets and combo wrenches to get these tightened up. So with the cargo rack tightened to the clamps, we can go ahead and put the clamps in their final position. Make sure it's centered from side to side and then straight up and down for that cargo box. So I'm just going to use my 5mm Allen and tighten down all of the top bolts on these clamps since I've already tightened the bottom bolts down together. But if you haven't tightened the bottom, make sure you go back through and get all of the bolts tightened down evenly. The next step is to prep the cargo box. The first thing we need to do is determine the mounting location for the mount bracket. So we're going to clip this into place. If you have a medium box, it will have slightly different measurements. For us, we're just using the mounting location that is outlined in the instructions. Also, the pannier rack can come with a left or right release tab. To get the box prepped, we've got all of our hardware laid out on a rag. That's going to help us stay organized. Now, all of the smaller hardware is going to be for the latches. So that's your screws, the washers, and the acorn nuts. The washer and acorn nut are going to go on the inside of the box. So we're going to start with one of these latches, and I'm going to take all 6 screws and set all of them in place at the same time. Just be aware when you're mounting this latch up, if you get this buckle, it can sit at the bottom. If you get everything mounted up, you're not going to be able to use the latch. So make sure that that buckle is facing towards the top of the box while you install everything. Now to install the mounting bracket, we're going to make some marks. So the instructions, they give us a measurement of 5 inches from each side and then 5 7/8 from the bottom. I've laid out some tape so you guys can see what I'm actually doing. I'm going to make a couple dots at 5 inches from each end, and I'll play a game of connect the dots. I'm using the tape as my straight edge. And then on this bottom, I'm just making one mark at 5 7/8. And then we just need to center the bracket in those marks. So I've got the bottom at the 5 7/8 mark. Make sure it's squared up side to side. So we're looking really good right there. All you need to do now is mark all of your mounting locations. And then I'm going to take my centering punch and make a mark for each mounting location. Now we can take our 11/32 inch drill bit and drill those holes out. Now that we have our holes drilled, I'm going to set 7 washers on top of them, then set the mount on top of that. And you'll notice you have 3 shorter button head bolts in the kit. Now you're going to take those, you're going to go through the bracket, through the washer, and through the box. Then we have the support bar on the inside and 3 nuts. After that, I'm going to use the 4 longer bolts. We're going to have a washer on them and go through the inside. So you're going through the box, through the outside washer, and then through your bracket, and then you've got the nut on the outside. Now we can tighten the hardware down with a 5mm Allen and 13mm socket. Next, we need to mark the mounting location for our security knob on our cargo box. I'm going to screw this in place and use a paint pen on the back side, and while that paint is wet, I'm going to set the cargo box in place, and then that's going to transfer the paint to the cargo box. Now, if you don't want to do it that way, you're just going to mark the location from the back side. So you can see it didn't transfer paint all the way around, but you can see the outline of the ring. So we're gonna drill right through there. Now we can set the box in place. You just wanna make sure this pull pin is completely seated in the mount plate. Next, I'm gonna install the lock washer onto the security knob, and then we'll thread it through the box and into the rack. Then we can install the lid. So that's it for the bed-mounted quick release cargo system. If you have any questions, leave those down in the comments. And if you need one of these, they're available on our website. Just click the link in the description below. We offer free shipping on orders over $75. And if you want to see more helpful content like this, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.